Ojo denoi mageruk. Oge mama kodesh nakas kagonush del grunji banasi dudem. Chi megwech gejimani tud ungum. Oge mama ni jumes ge wingash kuzige da beda ni kukum akanawaya ogi nagadeneman. I want to start off by thanking our guest here, or our leader, Orville Looking Horse. I want to thank you for coming and joining us, and your wife Paula. Thank you for coming and blessing our gathering here, and also to the drum group for coming and singing for us and starting us off with those really good songs that we need to hear in the morning for all of us, to hopefully help with the conversations that we're having around water management. How do we collaborate ourselves and bring many organizations and people together around an idea of creating a very comprehensive water strategy that encompasses different countries, states, provinces, and peoples. And I have been a firm believer that if we spend enough time together, we can resolve anything. And if we can see ourselves in one another, then we can see the importance of hearing one another and understanding the difficulties that we all face as humans. So I want to welcome you to the One Basin, One Governance. I want to thank Steve Strang and the Red River Basin for your tremendous work. I want to thank the mayors who are here for your work, the conservation districts, the university. I want to acknowledge UN with Bob here, who's also present. I want to just talk a bit about our hopes for this conference, and I got a few speaking notes that Tina made sure I remembered, so I'm going to try to keep that as well. Just a bit of background on the Southern Chiefs organization. We represent 34 First Nations, 5 of which are Dakotas, 30 of which are Anishinaabe people, and treaties 1 till 5. And we have 4 tribal councils in the region, and we are working diligently to try to solve many of the very local issues that we face on a regional level. And that takes a lot of listening to not only our leaders, but also the elders and advisors that surround our leadership. Many people, as you know, many of our leaders are not there because they wanted to be there. It's because the people put them there. So there's a lot of people who influence and are a part of the conversations, consultants, lawyers, all these people. And so you want to hopefully be able to help them to understand what our goal really is when we talk about governance, or One Basin, One Governance. What is that? What does that mean? As Anishinaabe, Dakota peoples, our governance, our constitution resided within us as individuals. We constitutionally governed ourselves as an individual, and as our family, as our community, the values that were embedded us as children, that's what regulated our decisions. And there's a great deal of freedom for individuals to decide, and based on the values that have been embedded in them as children, as young women and men who became pillars in our communities, pillars in our societies that others would lean on. Governance is strong governance is built on the clear, concise, and open communication and understanding between different peoples, or differing peoples, differing organizations with different constitutions and different understandings. And hopefully, it's also governed by respect, a great deal of respect. And that is something that's very difficult, I know, with the history over the last 100 or so years, 200 years, well, 500 if we go right to the beginning of contact, but it's been difficult to not only find create an agreement, but ensure that the agreements are maintained. And that takes that takes reflection after a number of years or every year. So we are moving towards treaty governance in the region. And at the same time, we're moving towards Dakota governance and Anishinaabe. We're talking about these things. And we're also looking at our partners, many of you of which are mayors and our conservation districts, the universities, who we have to work with or who we will be working with. Our hope really is that we have a strategy that can mitigate the flooding issues that we are going to be facing in the very near future. I know many of you are aware that we have been trying to develop and start the construction of or recreation of the Netley-Libo Marsh. And that is based off of examples around the world where they have rebuilt the shelves and kind of restarted vegetation. And it's difficult to hear or to navigate how we go about getting there. Many of us can agree that we want the lake to be healthy. How do we go about doing that? You know, and I know our farmers and the agriculturalists and all of our partners who are living in the region here have the similar desire to see a sustainable lake, prosperous and healthy lake, not only for those who are very much dependent on the fishing industry, but also everyone who lives around the lake and really for all of us. So, you know, it's important that we speak with one another, we get to know one another, and continue to discuss some of the important initiatives that are happening throughout the region and in the States with the different strategies, the LIDAR mapping, the different water containment strategies that are being looked at to mitigate flooding. How do we filter the amount of phosphorus going into our lake? The challenges are multifaceted, we know, but we have to start somewhere, and we have to come together and try to find a way to save the lake and hopefully paint a true narrative that is where the lake is becoming more healthy. It's becoming, we are doing something. When our grandchildren look back, you know, generations from today, they're going to want to know what their grandfathers and their grandmothers did. And we are those people. We are those grandmothers and grandfathers that they're going to be speaking about. So what did we do when the time came, when you know, great threats were known, threats that could potentially harm you know, the stability of our communities and the health of our communities and the impact that it'll have. So those are the things I want to just say. And again, thank you. I all acknowledge our Creator for the beautiful day that He gives us, and continue to work towards solutions. I find that people who speak of the problems way more than they speak of the solutions need to be reminded that they need to focus more on solutions. We have to focus on what's going to work for all of us. And so we obviously count on one another for those actions. As leaders, our hope is that we reflect the values within the people who have entrusted us to lead. And hopefully that those values are communicated and developed over time in our young people, in the institutions that we have empowered to educate our children and to develop our society, the future of our communities. So we've been proactive consistently. We've been open to partnership consistently. We've reminded our partners of the importance of respect, respectful dialogue, science and fact-based decision-making. Those are the things we value, and we hope to bring a comprehensive knowledge base together where all of us can get behind a strategy that will help with many of the water issues that really bind all of us together. So with that, thank you, my relatives. It's an honor to be a part of such a great endeavor, and hopefully moving forward, we will see a clear path for mitigating the water issues and also to save the lake and rebuilding the Netli-Libo Marsh. So, miigwech, gijimanitu, rumgum, ahu.